Welcome to Smalltalk Daily for Thursday, August 19th, 2010. Yesterday we went through a simple example of a one-table application in WebVelocity. Today what we're going to do is we're going to customize this to add search to it. So here's our basic WebVelocity application as generated yesterday. So we have our new button here on the list, and there's just our list input. What we want is we want to add a little search interface up here. So in addition to new, we want a search input field and a search button here so that people can search by, and in this case I'll say by title, which you can't see, it's over here. I haven't customized the title to be first, but there are the titles over there. By default it's just going in alphabetical order. It's not really important right now. I'll go through how to customize that in a little bit in another screencast, but for now we're just going to implement that search. So rather than show you how I type, let's go ahead here and we'll just load the latest version. So going back to the top of WebVelocity, what we'll find is we have Notes app. Notice it says newer versions available. I'll pull this down and I'll load 1.1. Now what I'm going to do is briefly walk through the code to show you what it does. So with that loaded, let's first show you what it looks like. So we'll go into Notes app and we'll do a browse. And we'll go to notes.html, and you notice now we have an addition, a search button, a returned all, and in one of the titles is the string JSON, so I'll type JSON and I'll hit search, and you notice it pulls it up. If I hit all, it'll bring me back to everything. So it basically works. Let's show you what I did though. What we'll do is we'll go in here and we'll hit classes, notes list UI. All the changes have been made here, and a couple of things have been done. What I did is first went into variables and added a variable called search text. And you notice down here there's an option for new variable. You can add any variable you want, and that's all I did. Then I went back to methods and I added a render actions on. Render actions on is one of the scaffolding methods, and it's the thing that puts out that new button by default on the list form. You can override this in a subclass and have it do other things. So I have it do super render actions on so that I still get the new button. But then I tell it I want the string search, a space, a text input field. Notice this is just standard C-side here. And then again, standard C-side, a button with a callback, a value of search, another button with a callback of return, and the value of all. Now the magic, as it happens, is in the apply search. And here I have to customize my query. To do that, I grab an active record query object and I tell it to read class notes. So by default, it's going to be querying for instances of the note class. Now I'm going to give it a new search text. So I'm going to say % self search text as lowercase. So I don't want to be searching by case. And then I want %. So basically I'm wildcarding a search on titles. And then I have a where clause that I create by handing the query a where clause, which is just a block with Smalltalk-ish and SQL-ish code in here. You should really look at the glorp documentation if you want to know all the ins and outs of what you can do in a where block. But here I'm just telling each title as lowercases like the new search text. And then I hand the paginator, which is the thing that determines how many return results will be on each page, this query, so that instead of an all query, it's going to be modified by this where. And then returned all looks very similar. It's just it gives it a regular query. So I create a brand new one. Since there's no where clause, it's going to get everything, and I just hand it that. And that's how I get from the basic app that I had a moment ago to this thing with the search text here. So I added this, and I added the two buttons. And that's really all there is to it. I added a variable and 3 methods, and that was all it took to get this thing to do a custom search. So that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with Smalltalk.